Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot. Supportive Oracle cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Let's see what we got going on here. I'm not sure what way this is going. You have some really good cards, but you have a really... Let's see what's going. I'm not even sure where you're going at the end here. Seems like there's something really good supposed to happen. Let's see if it actually will, though. Abundance with... Which... Is this the throat chakra? The blue chakra, the throat chakra, the fifth chakra. Whatever you want to call it. It's coming in with abundance? Blossoming abundance. So it's something you're trying to convince somebody of why the situation is good. This is how this situation got into this next part. Like, you're trying to negotiate with somebody. You're trying to explain to somebody what's going on, what's going to happen next, how this needs to unfold. It may not be perfect right now, because that's why it's blossoming abundance. It's not quite at its peak yet. It's not quite at its point of fruition, but it's getting there. And let's just hold it together, and let's just get there a little bit farther, and we'll be fine. You might even try, you're just trying to convince somebody to stay the line, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. I keep saying it over and over again. I feel like you might have to keep saying the same thing over and over too. And I'm getting in this side, the cornucopia with the moon, which is the goddess of the moon, but it's kind of like they're not really sure if their next value is with you or with somebody else. The moon card, the goddess of the moon, is like not really understanding what's next, but trying to work with somebody's intuition, their own intuition. But it's the moon card, so sometimes things seem like they might go well, that might not go well. Sometimes there's blessings through adversity here. So it's kind of like they're wondering where their bounty really is. Is their bounty with you or somewhere else? And they're not really convinced, but the moon card also talks about, like, there's secrets in the dark here. You might not realize that they're considering going somewhere else with this. Now, the sixth chakra coming in with the Empress, the sixth chakra is the third eye chakra. Like, if I can touch where it's supposed to be. I don't like how this feels. It feels like there's a choice to go a different direction. And hopefully both sides see the truth about what's coming next. If this other side, if the other person you're dealing with disconnects, there's nothing you can do about that. This is that moment I feel like you have to really start showing your poker hand. If you want this person, if you want to like cement this in a little better, you want to like try to convince them more to stay, because I don't think you're realizing that they might consider leaving. You gotta start showing your poker hand. Whoever this is, be it romance, business, for a lot of you I feel like it's work or business, something like that. You gotta start showing this person that you're trying to convince them to stay the course. Start showing your poker hand where things are going. You gotta show them enough to really convince them, really start to see. If you have to keep saying things and keep explaining the same thing over and over, that's the red flag saying it's not working. It's not working, they're not listening, they're not believing. They might be listening, but they're not believing. If you have to keep coming back to the same thing, you're going to have to start showing your poker hand to really convince them. And that's like that inkling moment where you're like, ooh, this isn't fitting right, something doesn't feel right. The Empress with the sixth chakra is like you're getting that inkling, like something isn't fitting right. All of this coming in at once, which the balance card with Libra, like the scales balance, that's Libra all day, all night. Finding a way to make this balance out in the long run. In the long run, depends on this person sticking around. If this person leaves, they take away your ability to balance it. Healer of Ages is like, you don't want that to happen. That's not how you're planning this. You're planning if they stick around, you can make this right. It's just how it is right now. This is how it's balancing right now. They have to give you a chance. They're not believing it, though, especially, again, if you keep having to explain the same thing over and over, they're not believing you. It's failing. It's a red flag. You're going to have to show some of your poker hand if you really want this to work out. Healer of Ages, is that the 6th chakra? The 7th. The 7th, which is the crown chakra. You're going to get those inklings letting you know that something isn't right here. It's going to feel off to you. The situation might just snake away from you before you can do anything about it. It may slowly seem like you might hope it's going to slowly disappear, but it might just already be on it's frustrating me. It might already be in process of slipping away from you. If we just do this card by itself, be careful of just assuming people are going to stick around till you have a time to rectify a situation, because I don't feel like that's going to happen. You might lose your opportunity. You have to show your poker hand. I keep saying that over and over. Like, you're going to have to show, I don't know how much or what of your poker hand you want to show, but I'm getting there's a portion of it that you can do and be okay with. You have to decide what's right, what's not right, how much you can, how much you can't. But you're going to have to give out a little bit more than you're expecting to. I'm getting that. The attachment here is like you might expect this is just going to stick around and just wait for you, but it's not. You may not realize that the players might change. I don't feel like you're realizing that, because this other side is not showing their poker hand at all. They're not telling you that they're looking other places. They're not telling you they're considering going. It's just going to be, if you find out, it's pretty much after they've made their decision, which is too late. That's rough. But they're trying to give you the honest truth here. Like, you can't do anything with it if you don't know what's actually happening. Okay, all right. I'm like, well, this seems rough. They're like, no, if you don't know exactly how this is going to go and that they're just going to kind of go, you're not going to realize that you really do need to show some of your poker hand. I'm not saying you have to show all of it, whatever you're comfortable with, and then you got to watch. If they keep doing that repetitive thing and they ask you the same question, you find yourself explaining the same situation, it's not working. It's the red flag. Once you've given enough information, when they stop asking the same question over and over, or you stop having to keep explaining the same thing over and over. One of the two, which may be the same thing to you, but you know what I mean. The next thing coming in is questionable, in the sense of like, this other person, whoever you're dealing with, seems very upset. They seem very upset with the broken heart. I was going to call it the Three of Swords, but it's broken heart. It's kind of the same thing. They're very upset. They don't feel like things are working out. They are going to have that moment either way. But if you show your poker hand and you say, like, listen, I want to fix your heart. I got this heart on my side. I want to fix your heart. I know you're upset. I want to fix that. But, you got to give me some time. Showing your poker hand might change that. It might change that. I have to be honest. Even showing your own poker hand, everybody has their own free will. So there's no guarantee with that. But if you really want a chance, that's what needs to happen. They have to make up their mind. If you show your poker hand, it does seem to sway the balance more in your direction. Seems to give you more of an upswing, more of a better shot at this working out the way you were hoping it would anyway. This is somebody you do value, by the way, and you would like to keep around. They have the choice, and I'm getting this is them. They are the King of Wands. They got to choose which direction they're going to go. Are they going to go towards possibility, which is with you, which is the way that the king is heading, kind of like that's the better choice, or are they going to leave? And if they go, they're going to end up going towards something a lot worse than what they have now. For some reason, they're upset. I'm getting they're also trying to acknowledge that this person is upset and they don't feel like things are right. They're not seeing the balance. That's another reason you got to kind of show your poker hand, because they feel like things are out of balance. They're upset. That's why they want to go. Only when they're balanced again will things be right. The question is, are you going to get that chance to balance this out? That's the only time this person is going to be at peace with you, is when the balance is restored and they feel like they've gotten out of the situation that they should have gotten out of it. Let me just pick up all these cards at once, because the cards come out the way the cards come out. I'm just like, this one card. I'm like, this one card. I'm not thinking anybody's going to like seeing it, but it's there. So this is kind of like the Ten of Cups, happy family. I'm going to do this one next, the door to romance, being very happy with somebody. It doesn't have to be literally romance, but this is just like feeling loved, feeling connected, loving having somebody around. Is this contract? No, it's door to spirit, moving forward, following your heart, following what you feel is right. Now this is the one. Deceit. In this situation, there's certain things that you got to keep to yourself. Okay, that makes sense to me. I feel like you don't really have the luxury to change your mind. Certain things you just can't share. You just can't. You got to be careful about what people think about that and what people are assuming is going to happen next. And that's where deceit starts to play in. If you're not addressing certain things, people are going to create their own narrative. If you don't tell people why you did this decision or that decision, and you're kind of like, well, I can't. You got to find a way to get into the situation so you at least can get them to hold back and be like, I can't tell you now, maybe I can tell you later, or you got to find a way to get into that situation, because the deceit comes in when people start adding in their own thoughts about what you're doing and why, and that you don't stop them. You might have to get involved and stop them from what they're already thinking about you in this situation. That's where the deceit comes in. That's where the problems start to happen. I'm getting that this current situation with showing your poker hand, for those of you this is hitting with, I don't know how you're going to feel about this. I just got to go with the energy, so hopefully it's not offensive. They're saying maybe it's time to start getting more into a practice of showing your poker hand a little more. You don't have to show the whole thing. I can't think of the type of game it is, but like is it Texas Hold'em? I don't know. I don't really know. Where two cards are face up and the rest of them you hold to yourself. Like, you might need to play a game more like that, like where you have a little bit more out there showing what way you're heading, so people can kind of guess what way you're going. You don't have to show the whole hand, but they're saying this might be a time in life where you have to start showing more of your poker hand to get used to showing it more regularly. Not saying the whole hand, but like if people have more of an idea, get more of a sense of like who you are and where you're going, the waters might smooth out a lot more for you. Because I don't feel like, when I'm seeing that deceit card, I really don't feel like you're looking to take advantage of anybody. I just feel like you're not standing in anybody's way to think negatively. And that's where I think things are going wonky. The death card popping in here is kind of like, here's your chance to change how things have been going and to put your life in a more peaceful pattern. There's a lot coming in here. People seem to be very nervous and they're having a hard time. I don't know, something here, whoever you're dealing with is having a hard time trusting you for whatever that is. I'm getting they're working through fear. The base chakra is not always like that. This is like, this has to be balanced. They have to realize that they don't have to fear what you're doing. They have to understand just where you're starting from. They don't have to know the whole thing. They don't have to see the whole plan. But they have to have like some type of way to see the root of where you're starting, the root of how you're working and where you're going. Once they have faith in you and realize like you're honoring them, they'll honor you back and you don't have to worry so much. If they don't feel like this base is firmly planted and they don't understand what you're doing, that's when you're going to have a lot of problems. This might be a person, I don't know, but I'm getting like more and more problems and they just get worse and worse and harder to deal with. It may feel to you like, is it really going to matter if I show someone my poker hand or not? It will. It will. But I feel like even going forward, you're kind of like, well, they're still kind of difficult to deal with. They get worse if they don't see some of your poker hand. It's up to you what you want to do with this person. Because I feel like whatever's going on here, it's either the same person goes into the future, and even when you rectify the situation, it seems to start to repeat, or the other version is this first person leaves, somebody else takes their place, but then the same pattern starts to take hold. The way to end this pattern is to start showing more of your poker hand. Again, you don't have to show the whole thing, but more of it to where you want to give somebody the idea of like the base of where you're grounded, and then you want to show proof, like, see, you thought I was going this way, and now I'm proving like that is where I'm going. You didn't know exactly why or where or when, but you know I was going this direction. You know I was going east. You don't know exactly where east. You didn't know when I was going to go east. But look, I did go east. So you knew you could stay with me. You could trust me. You may not have known exactly everything I was doing, but you could see where I was heading. That's where you want to instill that confidence. So when they have that confidence in you, it goes easier, and you're more likely to get what you want out of the situation. I'm not going to say they're going to be your best buddy, because I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you would buy that anyway. If this is hitting the way I think, you'd be like, no, I don't think so. I don't think that would happen anyway. That's what I got. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.